Whoa, it's the illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm at my latest project, fixing up this mass. I'm gonna pour this slab today around this pump house, but the slab that I'm attaching to is fully wonky because they built it around a pump and stuff, so it's to be expected. My form is super rad, but that there's a high corner over there, but I'm gonna work it all out when I frame it, so in the end it'll be fine. I'll bury it all. I'll bury all the wonky corners. Oh, gets me to the what I ultimately wanted to chime in about today is the blessing of the reveal of the hustle, right? So I just got an email from a young man in Arizona, Maricopa County, where the hustle is in real effect, right? And it's interesting how the hustle works because it's twofold. So first of all, the young man in Maricopa County is taking matters into his own hand. He's starting his own business, getting his own thing going. He's not relying on the system or the government to answer his questions. He's using the system and the government to solve his problems ultimately, dude. Licensing, making money, but he's staying in contact with God, right? Rule number 1, stay in contact with God. Don't give your power away to politicians, institutions, corporations, anybody, right? Or anything. But when I was reading his email, it kind of got me a little bit inspired for, let me put this down, inspired to talk about what is the hustle. So the hustle is very, very interesting because it's like a double hustle, right? It's a double hustle. Let me get my cup of coffee, because we don't add it here. We just go for it. So the double hustle. Let's get the mountains in the background. I should have figured all this out before I started, but that's just not the way I roll, dude. We roll authentic kind. So the double hustle is this. So the first hustle is to convince you that you don't have any power, that you're powerless, which is not true. You have all the power you want in the system we have, right? But you have to establish the power not dependent upon other people, right? That's the hustle, is thinking that other people determine your power, but they don't. So, but other people are the hustle too at the same time. Like the system is hustling everybody to give up their power. So for example, like if you, and the biggest people being hustled are the people that claim they don't want to be hustled. They claim that they're awoke. They claim that they're conservative and they care about all these things, but they're getting hustled. So for example, there was a measure 114 up in Oregon, right? Which was a full Second Amendment violator, which, requires all sorts of crazy laws to go purchase, your lead distribution units, right? You're like, oh my God, dude, they're coming after the Second Amendment. Yeah, super obvious they are, dude. They don't want people like self-powered, self-determined, all that stuff. So you can sit and bitch and moan about that, or you can empower yourself. So if you look at the results, so just some basic facts, I just looked them up. So Oregon has a population of 4.2 million people, basically, right? And the voter registration for Oregon right before the election of 2022 was roughly 3 million people. So 3/4 of the population's registered to vote. It's pretty high, right? So then you look at this measure 114. So measure 114 passed with I believe 890,000 votes. I'm just ballparking the numbers. And it lost by 32,000 votes. So it won with 890,000 votes, lost with 32,000 votes. That total combined number is roughly what, 1.8 million people. That means 1.2 million people who took the time to register themselves or voter motor registered or whatever, were registered to vote. Let's just say that 25%, let's say 10% of that 1.2 million people is conservative. Oh my God, they're coming to take my gun types. I trust God, the real, let's say 10% of that 1.2, that's 120,000 people, 10% of that 1.2 million. Those 120,000 people didn't show up to defend their Second Amendment rights in the state of Oregon. There's the hustle right there. Like, most people don't understand, yeah, the system's broken, and I've said this so many times, and I'll keep saying it over and over again, because nobody participates. That is the great hustle of the whole thing. Because most people don't get what the Constitution does. It doesn't give us any power. It just reaffirms our God-given right to be empowered. That is the hustle. That's why they want everybody to turn away from God. That's why they're doing the big A thing with the unborn children, right? Is because they're getting you to turn your back on God. Once you turn your back on God, the system gets to be daddy. And then you get to fight the whole thing. Blah, blah, which is like the double hustle, right? Like, yeah, the system's a total fraud. The fraud, why it's a total fraud, is because people aren't participating in their civic reality, which is just life on this earth. Like there's this weird black pill mentality of like, oh, certain people run the whole thing, and it's the uniparty system, right? So you look at this. I'm gonna do the black pill for a second here. You look at this the big red fizzle, dude. Who sabotaged the red fizzle? It wasn't the big left blue woke Looney Tuners. It was the rhinos, dude. It was the fake conservatives. Well, how have the fake conservatives managed to take control of conservative civics? They've convinced people not to participate, right? So you look at where they spent their money. They spent their money, the right wing, right, conservative Republicans, whatever you want to call them, spent their money fighting people that believe in freedom. That's the hustle. Like that's where, so instead of getting all mad and being the system's corrupt, is it? No. It just is what it is. It can't be corrupt because it's run by people. The corruption is inside of the people that don't empower themselves. That's where the corruption lies. Yeah, you can fully go shenanigans, Maricopa County. Dude, the election results in Nevada for the senator was again a couple thousand, with Bobart and Colorado. A couple thousand, dude. It's a couple thousand here. Like, when you really look at the numbers are so small that these victories or losses are determined by. That, don't you get? That is the power, dude. Instead of talking about, that's why the orange man's telling you he's a loser and a lame-o, dude, is because he keeps bitching about the past, dude. We don't dwell on the past, right? We don't dwell on the past, dude. The past is an example of what it looks like if you don't get on the ground floor of this reality, right? Empower yourself on the local level, which starts with you. You have to empower yourself first. You have to be the president of your own reality. You have to be the Senate and the Congress and the dictator and the pacifist of your own reality, because God has given you the power. You are fully equipped for this reality. Does that mean we're any good at it? No, not at all, dude. You don't look any further than your own kitchen table to wonder why the system's out of control. Are you out of control? I'm out of control. I had a giant art fight the other day with Owl about math. The math fights, dude, right? He fought back. It was a whole thing. But at the end of the day, we had an awesome talk about this ultimately. But again, it was a bunch of time wasted in battling over power, essentially, dude. Al wanted to be in charge of his own power, to be like lazy. I lost my mind because I'm trying to teach him not to be lazy, right? But at the end, he wasn't being lazy because he couldn't do it. He was being lazy because he was manipulating this, whatever. Parents know what I'm talking about. What I'm getting at is we got to stop looking outside of ourselves. And that's why the email from the young man with his own businesses in Maricopa County inspired me today, right? Because he was talking about how his friends have spiraled out on the corruption and the whole thing. And what I will tell you is the corruption starts right in the center of our chest, right in the middle of our head. That's the fallen state that we have to overcome, is our own personal corruption, the corruption to ourself, dude. The corruption to ourself. That's the alcoholic's dilemma. That's the drug addict's dilemma. That is the dilemma that I know quite well is the only person that you're really lying to is yourself, dude. No one forced me to drink alcohol. No one forced me to take drugs. That was the hustle. It wasn't the man. Wasn't the liquor stores. It was me lying to myself that was an answer, and that I wasn't, So when we look at what's going on here is, yeah, the system's a hustle, but the hustle isn't that it doesn't work. It fully works to protect us. The hustle is that they've convinced people that the hustle is the entire thing. No, it just is. Like, you can get all into the deep truther side about it. You go down the bunny hole. It's fully operated by a bunch of satanic demons and the whole thing. That's obvious. But where you realize the truth of what God is giving us is those satanic demon types never get to take a break, never get to take a day off. They're always working. They are always hustling and conjuring and hustling and conjuring. That's where all the people that claim they're awake fall back asleep, dude. See, they think that they don't have any power, but that the power is because they just don't actively pursue the truth within themselves 24/7. They go and bitch and moan and complain, and then go lament like, oh my God, we lost. They're coming to take our rights. Well, yeah, they are. They're coming for you, dude. They've declared war on humanity a long time ago, dude. Whether you believe history is true or not, it's full of beings that are at war with humanity. That is obvious. They want our children. They want our souls. They want us defeated. They want us slaves to their wicked ways, right? That's obvious. That's not, but what they don't have is the ability to go to God, right? They've turned their back on God, right? And God has given us all of this to work on our benefit. But if you don't show up for it, you lose your gun rights up in Oregon because 120,000 people who claim they gave a hoot and cared didn't show up. So 120,000 people in Oregon. That's the 10% of the 1.2 million that didn't participate, that had the ability to participate, right? that 120,000 people that didn't show up in Oregon, guaranteed they're sitting around bitching and moaning. The government's coming to take our guns. The woke leftists are coming to take our rights and shove propaganda down our children at the school. Well, the hustle of the system is they have to give you an opportunity to participate in their defeat and your own demise, right? So if you don't participate, you've surrendered already. You've already given up. But the system, it's black pill, it's black pill. No, that's the game. There is it's a white pill. The white pill is to understand that you're fully empowered. That there is nobody holding you down except you. And the minute you realize that, you're like, oh, wow, like you mean I have access to all the levers and controls? Yeah, absolutely, dude. But I can't go start my own movie company and do this and that. They're shoving the propaganda down that, well, you have the ability to not have a television in your house, right? But you have the ability to like shop differently. You have the ability to build your own things. You have all the opportunity in the world. Yeah, like the other day, for example, like I was looking at that jacket I wore, and I never, like, it's Pendleton. Like, I have Pendleton. I've always figured it was made in frickin' China. Someone gave me a gift made in China. I didn't know. I thought Pendleton was always made in Oregon, but I was wrong. That's what it is there's no separation, man. It is real. I don't know what I'm getting about with the Pendleton. I'm just still blown away by it, I guess, personally, dude. But the big but. I'm just trying to say is the fully thing was exposed for what it is. Look at how desperate the one party rhino Dems are to crush the freedom movement. Yeah, the big red fizzle. Well, the big red fizzle occurred because people didn't participate. The black pillars, dude. And you can't blame the libertarians either, dude. Good for them, dude. That's where you don't get it, is their votes do count, don't they? They sure do. Maybe we should all like stop being a part of that. And I'm not part of that mentality. I'm not going to say, I fully believe just you do your consciousness. But what I'm getting at is we're fully empowered. The system will respond to us, but the people that are ruining it for everybody are the non-participants. But I guess it's like that Rush song, even those who choose not to participate have participated, right? That is participation. So yeah, it's not, those of you who showed up, rallied for your cause, participated in your civic responsibility, bravo, dude. Don't be bummed. Don't be bummed. Let the people that didn't participate, that bitch and moan, they have to take that to God, because God will ask them at the door, at heaven's gate, like, right? So you talked a good game, but did you show up? I gave you all the ample opportunities to show up and defend yourself. Did you? No. Did you pull your children out of public schools? No, dude, I was too lazy. Oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be excuse. There's no excuse. Yeah, it's all super gnarly and hard and requires a massive amount of commitment and time and effort and banging your head against the wall. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm not worried about their indoctrination down at the public school system. That's not even an issue I got to worry about, dude. I'm not worried about their other stuff either, because I'm fully empowered. The system's going to do what it's going to do. I'm not going to stop participating because it's broken. It's totally broken. The reason it's broken is because people don't participate on the local level. I can't explain that enough. That's where it's broken, is on the local level. The big level is just the spreading circuses for you. You think that you go get involved on your local level. For those, if anyone's out there is feeling disempowered about the big red fizzle, Go get involved on the local level. Empower yourself. Get back in the game, dude. Don't sit on the sidelines with your hands in your pockets and your shoulders slumped and your head down and be like, dude, that ain't what this life's about, man. This life's about getting up, building something, dude, and figuring and unraveling. I'm gonna lay concrete today, dude. I'm gonna fill that full of concrete, make it flat, and then I'm gonna put up walls and a roof and make a new building to grow, start my crops for next spring, dude, in here, dude. My grow room / pump house. So anyway, dude, you know, and look, this is a crowd-funded reality, dude, too. All of it, like all of us. I put my energy out here on this thing, and if you find value in it and you want to contribute to it, and 20 minutes of time that you spent here hanging out with me has an exchange rate value to it, please go ahead and use the links down below. PayPal, there's an address. You want to send us some good vibes. But like I said, the most important thing you can do to support this channel is just be kind to people, use the name tags, empower yourself, and stay true, and face the person in the mirror. Anyway, it's Illusion signing off.